my apartment was another apartment, and Soferno B lived there. And from I met him, I noticed we had the same interest, music. And we got very close, and eventually he got married to Tina, which I attended the wedding. And eventually they purchased a home in Brooklyn. And being more popularly known as Soferno B, loved to entertain. And I know at the home in Brooklyn they did a lot of parties. It was lots of fun back in that area. Eventually, I migrated here to Orlando, Florida. And after Soferno B came down here, I got connected to an online music site Darrell introduced me to, and eventually I introduced the Soferno B to the online music store. He was a burst of energy whenever he does anything. He's always smiling, happy, and I miss that about him. Lots of time I'm home, and if I want to know anything about politics, I just pick up the phone and call him, and to find out what's the latest going on with politics. Sometimes I'm home, and the weather is nice, and I feel to go for a motorbike ride. My default ride was going to Tina and B. I will just appear at the front door, ring the doorbell, and they're always happy to have me there. When Soferno B got sick, October 19, Tina called me and told me that he's at the hospital, and immediately I went there. And when I walked into the room and I said, Soferno B, he turned his head, opened his eyes, and looked at me. And that showed that to me that he was hearing me. And a couple of visits after, when I went there, the Sunday, the 22nd, and when I was leaving, I said to Soferno B, I know you're a fighter. We don't want to lose you. Please fight. Thanks for being my friend. And he lifted his left hand and hold my hand. And that proved to me that he heard me. I know he couldn't move his right side, but his left side, he lifted his hand. And that was the Sunday. And after that, it seems like he went into a coma. And we weren't getting any response from him. And by the Wednesday they had told us that there was no brain activities. The Thursday morning when Tina went to the hospital, they said that he had pneumonia in both lungs. And they have to go take an x-ray. So while they were transporting him to go get the x-ray, Tina said she had to go make a quick errand. And by the time she came out of the parking lot and moved off the car, they called her and said that he just passed. But, you know, in life, we born to die. And it's something, it's hard for us to accept, but one day all of us gonna meet it. We're gonna miss B dearly. And I hope we will support Tina, because I've never seen her in a state like this. Because a lot of times, B would say, let me go to my country. He calls Sanford, where he lives, country. and go look for my Tina. He's always talking about Tina. And I know both of them love each other. Because I witness it. He's going to be missed. Thank you. And if anyone has anything to add, the mic is open to the floor.
Hi. So my name is Daisha Maisonave, and I am the current supervisor of Seminole County Sheriff's Office Crossing Guard Unit. And here we have two coordinators, Ann Bua, Diane Poed. And Leroy Francis worked with the school crossing guard unit and with the sheriff's office. And I worked with Leroy for quite a few years, and my condolences to the family. And you know, he was an amazing individual. We're deeply, deeply missing him when he had to separate, and it was the time when he wanted to retire. We were like, wow, Leroy, it's that time, for you to retire. So we missed him when it was time for him to retire. So we are missing him as of now. And when we found out and you gave us a call, oh my goodness, so saddened our hearts. It so saddened our hearts. JoJo was the supervisor who worked the longest with him, and she had wanted me to let you know she gives her condolences. She wants to reach out to you in a little bit. I'll give you her number. She could not make it today, but she has a special gift to give you for him and wants to meet with you soon, okay? Because she just couldn't make it. But we have made a plaque that we give, just something really small and in memory, because he was such an amazing individual out there. He worked with our sheriff's office, a school crossing guard. He touched so many lives out there with the students. He did so many wonderful things. He was such a mentor to those students out there. Did so many good things. The students loved Leroy. I mean, he was just so awesome. Always had a smile on his face. He was always out there talking with the students. And I know I spoke with you, one of the things that I always remembered was, and I didn't get a chance to have an opportunity with, is one of the things that he would come into the office and he would always bring the cola champagne, that one soda, and it was like, okay, JoJo, tell me who's getting soda this time? Because was it me? Was it Ann? Because I didn't know who was going to take that soda home, because I love that soda. So, and I know that there was a time that he did cooked amazing food, and JoJo and Ann got an opportunity to go and share that food, and that was awesome. But we are so thankful to have, and honored to have had him work with us and to share his life with us with the sheriff's office. And he was truly going to be missed. Truly, truly. And we thank you for sharing him with us. We thank you so much. And we will truly miss him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Did you want to say anything? I know you work with him too.
Oh gosh, yes. Leroy, all of us, we had our ups and downs, but he always made you smile.
Sure did.
And his chicken was always so good. I was used to it. I'm sorry. I used to work with a Jamaican, so I was used to a little bit of the spiciness. Okay. JoJo goes, oh my gosh, it's hot. And I said, oh yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. But the one thing about Leroy, even when a fellow guard passed away, or even one of their spouses, Leroy was there with his hat, in his suit, with his vest on. And he didn't know who they were, but he was always there to support the unit and to support that person on their loss. So yes, Leroy is going to be deeply missed, and I'm sure everybody in the neighborhood is going to miss him too.
Yes, that is true. Thank you, young woman. Thank you. And Diane is fairly new with the program, so she didn't know him, but everybody else knew him, and I know that, like I said, he was going to be truly missed. And thank you for allowing us to share. Bless you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Leroy Doyle Francis, born March 31, 1935. Leroy Soferno B, Uncle B, or just B, was a big DJ during the sound system era. He would travel from England to Jamaica to purchase the latest records, and sometime he asked his cousin Carly to purchase the records and post them to England for him.
The mic is on. Put it closer.
Yes.
I'm not hearing.
Yes. Asked his cousin Carly to purchase records for him in Jamaica and post them to England for him. Uncle B, I met Uncle B in the year 2003 when his father, my grandfather, died. And over a 5-year period, he came to Jamaica on many occasions. And my job when he comes there was to take him to the various record stores in Kingston to purchase records. You know, I remember on one trip, I took him straight from the airport to a funeral. Boy, he was upset with me. He said to me, "Boy, Errol, I never heard that before. You mean I'm on vacation and you're taking me to a funeral?" He said, "Yeah, man, don't worry yourself, everything all right." So while we were at the funeral, I noticed that he was speaking to a whole lot of people at the funeral. So I went to him and said, "Where you know these people from?" He got the internet to that group, Collectors Corner, and it includes some friends that he knows from England and some from Jamaica, right? Leroy died on October 26, 2003, after a brief illness. He's survived by his wife, Tina, sisters, nieces and nephews, and a host of good friends and other relatives. May the angels come out to meet him. And perpetual light shine on him. May his soul rest in peace. Or good Uncle B.
One, two, testing. 1, 2, testing. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To Mrs. Francis, we are here to support you for the passing of your loving husband, B. I've known B since 1963-64 in Brixton, London. We grew up in the same area. And his song was like the Beatles. Everybody wants to go and listen to the Beatles. Wherever he plays, there's always a crowd. And if he was to go to anywhere in London and mention B, Soprano B, I never know his name until he got sick and in the hospital I found out his name was Leroy. All these years I know Mr. Soprano B. And he was one of the better sounds there, and of course it was classic. Anyway, I left London in 1979, immigrated to the United States here in Florida. So I lost contact with B. I knew he was living in New York with some other friends of ours from the same area who used to live in New York. And then when he moved down here, he and Tony, of course Tony knew him from New York, and they become friends. I mean, he came down here and they all stuck together. So Tony introduced me to B, and we got linked up together. I wasn't able to visit at his house, but he'd been to mine. And the last time I saw him was at Mr. Robinson's funeral. And we always talk on the phone, share WhatsApp with one another. And there were some good friends of his who live in Palm Bay, who used to play sound in London as well too. Unfortunately, they're up in the age, and they couldn't take the drive to come up here. So they said to give the regards to Mrs. Francis, and sorry, that's Jack and Hyacinth. They weren't able to make it because Jack is kind of a little bit feeble, and to drive a 9 to 5 to come up here this time of day wasn't the thing that would challenge, very challenging. But you know, we all have to go one day, and it's sad when it happens. But whether you're young, whether you're old, one day your time will come. So we just got to prepare and be strong and to support the living. We always try to support Mrs. Francis. If there's anything that we can do to help you, Tony is my main contact. Just touch base with Tony, and Tony will give me the message. And we are here to support you. And of course, the homegoing of your beloved husband, Soferno. You know, when I know Soferno being 63, 64, he didn't have any hair. He was like Teddy Savalas back then. He's the first bald-headed man I ever knew. I didn't know he could grow hair until I came and visited him here. I met him in Orlando, and I realized he had hair on his head. I thought he was always bald, but that was his style back in England in the 60s. Anyway, my friend, we all miss you, and we love you, but God loves you best. Here's a little message I would like for us to take note of. I think this is the message Soprano B, Lord Francis, would like to leave with you all. And it goes something like this. Take heed as you pass by. As I am, so you will be. So be prepared to follow me. It's a thought, because it's all of us journey. May the Lord bless the soul and keep you. And Mr. Francis, stay strong. Thank you.
Eileen and Leroy have been by far the best neighbors that we've ever had. And we've been together for 62 years, lived in a number of states, and even in a foreign country. No one has been like Leroy. And we used to talk about a lot of things. And we talked a lot about family. And we would have discussions. And when they first moved in, for those of you that live in Sanford, you know that sometime when the trash is collected and the recycle, the containers might end up out on the road and not on the sidewalk or in the front of your yard. Well, we were both working at the time, and we would come home and they would be right up against our garage door. And I thought, boy, this is a pretty good place to live. They bring them right up to the front door. Little did we know who it was, and it was Leroy. And then he became a crossing guard. And he was out in front of our development for a number of years, and I would go out sometime just talk to him. And if you could see those children around him, it was like he was holding court, and they loved him. And it was just amazing to watch him. But he was truly a good friend, and in our faith we believe that the moment your eyes close and you leave this place, they open again, and he's standing in front of you.
We are going to read some condolences cards, but we are looking for them at the moment. So
I think I left them home.
just a moment as we check the card to find them. In the meantime, for the search of the cards, does anybody else have any few words? Ahead and move on with the obituary. In loving memory of Leroy Doyle Francis, March 31st, 1935 through October 26, 2023. November 9th, 2023. Leroy Doyle Francis, age 88, passed away peacefully on Thursday, October 26, 2023 at Lake Monroe Hospital in Sanford, Florida. He was born March 31st, 1935 in Morant Bay, Jamaica, to Jocelyn Doyle Francis, Mosh Josh, and Viola Grosset. He left Jamaica in the 1960s and moved to Brixton, England, where he was a renowned DJ that went by the name of Soferno B. Everybody knew him for his sound system and music where he unheard in Jamaica sound called ska that many people had never heard. He moved to New York in the early 1980s where he worked at Chase Bank and as a transportation driver and delivered mail. He also served as an armored truck driver for Brinks. He met the love of his life, Eileen Stewart, and the two married in 1994. In 2006, the two moved to Sanford, Florida, where he would retire as a crossing guard from the sheriff's department. He was preceded in death by his dad, Jocelyn Doyle Francis, Mosh Josh, Mom, Viola Grasset, Stepmom, Dorothy Viola Cassandra Francis, sisters, Alfreda Francis, and Irene Francis. He leaves to cherish his memories, wife Eileen Stewart Francis, sister Joyce East, and another sister who lives in England, nephews Errol, Derek, and Stephen, stepdaughter Charlene Stewart, stepson David Stewart, grandson Demetrio White, and a host of sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law, nephews, nieces, great-grandchildren, and friends. Here are 6 pictures of Leroy and his special memories. A special husband. My eyes are filled with tears again. As I stand here where you lay, I think of you every second, but miss you every day. My body is full of sadness that you are no longer here. Pain is only soothed by the memories I hold so dear. My heart is tired and broken and doesn't beat the same. And it breaks a little more every time I hear your name. My dreams are of the future when I no longer feel this pain. I'll follow you up to heaven and we'll meet again. In our hearts, we thought of you today with love. But that is nothing new. We thought about you yesterday and days before that too. We think of you in silence. We often speak your name. Now all we have are memories and your picture in a frame. Your memories are keepsake with all which will never part. God has you in his keeping. We all have you in his heart, in our heart. Is there any more expressions that anybody would like to express?
Leroy's second cousin. I know him as B, and he's my grandmother's nephew. He's like one of my favorite cousins, and I remember the very first time I met him and I shared the same birthday. And it's, as a kid growing up, we have fond memories. And a couple months ago, I think June, I was able to come and spend some time with him and Tina. It was really, really, really happy I got the chance, me, my sister and I, and the kids got to spend some time with him before he passed. I was not expecting this. But well wishes and my condolences to Tina and the family from my siblings and I. Tina knows how much we loved him and the relationship we had. So I just want to you have my heart, and this was truly, truly not expected. So, on the behalf of my family and I don't know if Carly wants to, I just want to say my condolences. you, and we loved him. And so I know him and Daddy is right now.
My name is Carla. Also a second cousin to be. I didn't spend a lot of time in Jamaica, but growing up, I always knew B and my dad were very close. So when we lost my dad in 2010, it really hit him really hard. And I remember him being there in Jamaica with us, and you know, getting to share all the memories that he had with my father that I didn't get to have. And the day that we actually got to spend with him was actually my 41st birthday, that I got to hang out with him, and he had all these amazing videos, you know, just showing the relationship between him and my dad. And so I always felt close to him because he had such a phenomenal relationship with my father, and getting to almost live through him what he experienced with my dad. So I just want to say thank you. And Tina, I'm so sorry. But I'm really glad that we got to be here today to share in this time and just love on you, and know if there's anything that we can do, please just let us know. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. I know how much y'all loved him. I really appreciate y'all being in his life. He loved friends. He always talked about friends, and it's just so much that he enjoyed being around y'all. I know we're gonna miss him. But we have to keep each other strong. I know he loves his music, we all know, so he's up there playing. He's up there playing his records. Gosh, I can see him. Thank y'all so much.
You know, this Saturday we're going to celebrate his life, and the program, you know, we was fight the hard way, right? So now it's for the hard way, and we're going to celebrate his life. So I was supposed to, the last time him and I spoke, and he said, I said, B, I may go before you, and he said, no, I'm going before you. So he was playing a song, and I said, that's the song I want. And he says, okay. He was playing One Scotch, and I said, I will dance that one if you go before me. And I plan to dance it today, because truly, he says, no tears. He said that to me. And if I didn't have that song, I would dance it today, but I don't have it. I purposely didn't bring it. And we're going to celebrate him Saturday. Trust me, he was a trooper. And I know he passed me the torch, and I will gladly accept it and carry it forward with the music, because I know he loved music. He loved it, because we sit and talk, and he tell me, he says, when he first moved to London, and he have a bicycle, and he used to ride the bicycle with his little music to do weddings and birthday, and you know, and I sit and put myself into the story that he telling me. And that's how I know that he really, really, really loves music. And I can see him smiling right now, because my wife and I would come out and dance when he played. You know, dance until we sweat, and he loved that. So I would do the One Scotch if I have that today. B, we miss you. We know we just, like you and I talk, you just transition out of this body, and we're looking I looking forward to meeting one day when my time comes to transition. There's nothing more than love. And I know you will be there Saturday. Of course, with Major, Lee, LJ, and I will celebrate you to the max. I will kick it off with rhythm and blues because that's where you started, and I have a laver and make especially for you, and you're gonna smile. One love.
This is Willie from Befriend. I've known for about 20 years. I was introduced by T-Rob. And I don't have a lot to say because I don't know a whole lot about him because we only talk about cricket mostly and music. Right? We never say much of any other thing. But on Wednesday, 2 weeks ago, he called me and we were talking and I asked him, when are you going to play again? And he said he don't know, he was taking a break. So we talked about cricket again and we could have the music. I don't know if he knew it was going, but I didn't know it was going to migrate so early. So I have to say a few words. I missed him because he always called me. And, we say a few things about music, as I said. And I hope his soul rest in peace. I didn't know it was going to leave so early. And condolence goes to his wife and his family. I know it's not easy, but, at least he didn't suffer that much. Thank you very much. It's on. Okay. Sit.